Hello everyone, welcome back. We're still waiting, so that like bought us 2 minutes of not much.
Are
Yay!
you saying you don't enjoy spending time with the wonderful viewers and talking with them?
Oh, I love spending time
I,
with the viewers.
I for one enjoy spending time with the viewers, regardless of whether or not Zombie Grub does.
I love downtime. This is the best part of
Hey,
casting.
Alive's at a game.
Did he win? Because that's actually not a for sure thing for me anymore.
Let's see.
You
Match
ask him.
history. I'm already the weirdo at this point.
Yeah, you are, but oh, he's like in a party too. I can request to join party.
What?
I guess they
How
made
is
a.
that a thing?
I don't know, but they made it a thing, and
Is that a recent thing? Okay, you just left the party. I'm pretty sure you finished.
yeah, this is invite to party now. He's Winston. He plays some Overwatch.
No, I mean, I also have the Winston thing, and you know that I don't really play Overwatch.
Yeah, but the difference is you are you using the Winston thing?
No, but I could.
There you go.
If I wanted to.
I feel like you're only gonna
Maybe
use it if you play
maybe
it.
there's that gorilla that people keep memeing about, and I was really into that gorilla. So I'm like, Winston. He's like the gorilla.
What gorilla meme?
I don't know, there's been some gorilla meme that I've just been seeing everywhere.
Rifkin retweeted like the meme of the month tweet, and I knew like the first
Execute?
5 months, and then I'm confused in the last 3 months. I'm like, where did
I
these come from? I'm old.
I really don't understand most of them. Oh my god. Alive went back in game.
There's no way that was game number 2.
What if
Holy
that was
shit.
game number 1?
Well, we're just gonna have to find something else to cast. This ain't
Oh,
happening.
Peely Peely's in game. But I should be real ID friends with Peely Peely. Hey, invite for casting.
Bitches better invite. I mean,
Peely
who
Peely's my
doesn't?
boy. He won't leave us hanging dry.
Alive usually doesn't. Usually.
Yeah. I don't think Alive would, but Peely Peely's my man. I'll be like, hey, message on Skype. Get out of the game. We're not there. You need a restart. You just started without asking if I'm ready. Oh, Peely Peely.
Oh, Alive started. I was like, he started without
Yeah.
you? You're not in the game yet. Wow, Alive. Just say that you weren't ready. Say you didn't start building workers.
Should I actually tell him that?
Well, now it's obvious. You started building workers. You didn't say anything right now.
He
Alive,
looks
you
at the
ho.
replay is like, he was building workers, that liar.
Yeah, right. This is the build order. Ah, you ho. Did he even? He didn't even report the score. Alive.
Oh man.
You bad. Whatever, man. We don't need them. We don't need to watch a rematch. We're gonna watch ByuN versus Ryung. Oh, that'll be a great cast. ByuN, Ryung, ByuN, Ryung, ByuN,
Oh.
Ryung.
But ByuN's not out of game yet.
Not yet, but I assume he's gonna win versus Nato.
What if the same
You
thing
know?
happens there? What
know
if
what?
we just like get to the semifinals and we're like, we haven't cast the game for 2 hours.
You know what? Shut up. There's gotta be a
Maybe
match
if
going
Blizzard
on.
would make us an official WCS stream, then we would be able to.
Yeah. There's gonna.
That wasn't
it's
even
like,
shots fired. I love Wordy, but
I think it was more like shots fired at the organizations.
yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be Tails versus Keen, ByuN versus Young, Solar versus the winner. There's something. I swear. We'll cast
Okay, is
eventually.
Tails out of game? I'm just gonna look at every single match because I just want to go into a match now. Just anything. Let's see. Tails is not visible. Armani's not visible. ByuN's out of game.
ByuN!
I'm not even gonna
Sometimes-
ask like, is your series finished? Invite to next game.
Yeah. That's how you do it. I wonder what it's like to be a really popular player when it comes to like tournament casting, right? Because, like, are you flattered or are you annoyed that immediately after your game ends, like, all the casters ask, are you done? Are you done? Invite,
I
invite.
could see different players having different approaches. Some players might be like, yeah, okay, you know, that's fine. Like, I know Naruto wanted in for like TvT and stuff, and you know, Base Trade wanted in, everything. And then you might just feel like Alive is like,
Nah.
hit the start button anyways. just like he's like deadpan staring at the screen, like reading the messages, and just like camera cues into him like deadpan, just still staring at it, like clicking the mouse, start game, boop.
Yeah. Look at this. This is, I'm going to in-game actually and show off, like, the new interface. So, I got, like, the map info changing pictures now.
I really like that.
And there's mod info in case you pick a mod, I guess. They have new categories like my bookmarks and my published, which might be easier for map makers.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually make a mod, it has like this new fancy
I wonder
thingamajigger
if the
going on.
arcade looks different.
That's a good question. Let's go check.
You know, I've actually really wondered, and I've like thought about this. I kind of want to try playing arcade games on the Korean server, because they seem to have a bunch of cool arcade games that none of the other servers have. Like North American doesn't have a lot of these.
Hot Shot. Isn't that just yeah, Age of Strife? It's actually
Yeah, but
kinda
I've never
fun.
seen it on. Yeah, I've never seen it on North American server.
These
There's
are-
also something called New Smash TV. Like most of the names are in Korean, but like there's like some that have like these super old school like Korean drawings of like old war paintings and stuff. And I'm like, this looks like a fun server to play arcade games on.
Yeah. Browse. Browse, I guess is what I'm used to. What the fuck is this? Hello. It's Hero Battle.
What?
I went to the browse and there's this picture of like this anime girl.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah, it's just like what?
Hello. Replay same, replay
Okay,
same.
ByuN went into Zombie Girl. ByuN went into game after I messaged. Like,
Maybe they just
he's
hate
still in the
you.
chat channel. He's still in the chat. Maybe I'm just like I've been globally muted on both like StarCraft for being so BM all the time.
Clearly, yeah. Thing is, he must be going at
Young's out of game. Like maybe we could just ask Ryung. Okay, ByuN moved on in the bracket. I'm gonna ask Ryung.
Okay. They're not supposed to start Renovate anyways yet. So I don't even think we can cast this. Feels
Oh.
bad.
Feels bad, man.
Feels real bad. I think we have to wait for Peely Peely and Alive.
Oh man. Okay.
Let me make sure. Are we finishing all the rest of the matches first? Maybe?
Natural. Natural's in the chat channel. Is Memori? Memori and Natural are both in the chat channel. Hey, have you started? Invite if not. Casting. Message Natural in hopes that he remembers that I casted him like yesterday. Corsair Cup.
Who are
I'm
you?
not gonna just pick a random person. Yeah, right. Definitely possible.
Oh god.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Cross them all you want.
I wonder how fingers crossed became a thing.
Well, it's so weird
How
that it
was
became
full-
two things, right? There's fingers crossed, like here, like I'm hoping, and then there's fingers crossed behind your back, which means that you're lying, right?
That's true. Those are like two totally opposite things. ByuN invited me. Wait, that's a round 8 match.
Damn it!
Do you get a response from Olivia?
She says she's asking now. So, if you guys don't know, there is a live studio broadcast happening on twitch.tv/Olimoleague in Korea. So they have to do things like a little more structured than we do. You know, just casting for.
Oh god,
other
they're
matches.
starting to be.
Well, we're both referees, so I'm gonna. Olivia's probably gonna yell at them. I hope she doesn't yell at us. Mom, don't be disappointed in us.
We just tried to join the game to let them know that they weren't supposed to start.
We're gonna cast this as if we did everything correctly. Okay. In the bottom left, as the red Terran, he is ByuN.
With a question mark.
Young trouble.
And up at the top left, we have the blue Terran player. Give it up for Ryung.
Why is everyone so speedy? I mean, like, I know there is a valid stereotype that Koreans are like bing bang boom, you know, like they do commonly kind of don't care about the casters and they get going. But like I feel like recently with the way that we were building like a rapport with all these guys, they at least wait like 5 seconds and some even ask if the casters are ready. Like they're really getting used to being cast by us, you know, plebs. And just today they're like, nope, fuck all that. Like a year out the window, back to just being like, nope, come on guys, let's get this done. Like what is their hurry? God.
They want to go watch ASL.
They actually want to
like,
go to the studio.
We want to go to the studio and watch Brood War.
That's exactly it.
We're training for the Brood War transition from StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason you would 2 racks on Frost too. I feel like this is a Rift conspiracy, and I think it's or Rift logic. I'm not sure which one, but they're both right.
Well, 2 racks is definitely less all in than like the 3 racks potential, but yeah, Ryung is gonna get super lucky with the scouting here. He's gonna immediately find his opponent, which is like one of the #1 reasons why you don't want to normally do this on Frost.
Yeah, he did get kind of lucky here. And of course, ByuN thinking like, oh, I don't really have to scout, isn't gonna bother checking, because you know, chances are too he wouldn't have scouted correctly anyway, wouldn't have seen this happening. And while he did scout first, and that's nice, it's still like this long map with not super good locations to hop up on. It's actually pretty, it's okay, I guess.
The natural's on the low ground. That's gonna be a huge problem. Where is that Reaper going? Why is it saying there's only a watchtower?
I'm not sure about that, to be honest.
Oh, was he trying to, I think he may have been trying to kill off like a scouting SCV? Because if it had scouted clockwise, I think that might have been the timing when the SCV would have been moving from like top right to top left.
But he knew where his opponent was. Why would...
No. He was trying to deny ByuN scout.
Yeah, but... I don't know. I feel like because the timing and the momentum that you have to gain when doing a 2 racks is usually... It's got to be immediate, so wasting time to kill an SCV usually isn't suggested. But ByuN, he just wrecked Ryung's opener.
Okay, well, now we know why the timing's so important. Second Reaper is going to come in over here, but Ryung already lost the SCV and the bunker that he was trying to build, so this is just not working out for him at all.
It's not. It's actually really quite terrible, and he's so behind. Not on his command center necessarily, although he definitely is behind on that, but on his tech more importantly. Like, ByuN's starport finishing up is going to turn, into Banshees. Definitely a good maneuver as he realized what the build was. I mean, this is terrible. I like Ryung's choice to go for a faster 3rd CC, because he knows his build didn't work out, but he's going to have to get missile turrets up for the Banshee.
Yeah, like the biggest problem he has right now is the fact that his tech is ridiculously delayed. With the fact that there's a factory still being built when the starport and the tech lab have already finished up for ByuN is a huge problem. Huge problem. And as you were saying, like he's gonna need the missile turrets and everything else up, but he just also needs to make sure he doesn't take that much damage from this, on top of like having the fast 3rd.
Yeah. Apparently we're in the clear, by the way. We did good, kind of.
Okay.
They're allowed to start. I've never followed 2 units at once before. The camera's really not sure what to do. There's a lot of Reapers for Ryung, and grenades are pretty good, but 3 Hellions should be able to beat this out. And that's really all of Ryung's army.
Those Hellions just roasted those Reapers. And yeah, there is just nothing over here. ByuN taking game #1 with a counter push.
It was a very risky build for Ryung to do. I guess kudos to ByuN, I suppose, who actually got the 2nd Reaper. If he had gone for a reactor after the 1st Reaper, he would not have had the same slap that he did. So
yeah, I think you even talked about this like during Corsair Cup yesterday. Like going for the 2nd Reaper is sort of not the most common thing. In which case, if you imagine like if you'd just gone for 1 Reaper and maybe you'd gone for like a Marine after that or something along those lines, then yeah, the bunker may have actually finished up. And if the bunker finishes up on the low ground, I think that natural expansion command center maybe even has to get canceled. Like, I don't know if there's a lot of damage or DPS you can really output versus it.
Yeah. It could have gone a couple of different ways based off like one or two things differently. Like Ryung goes to the base immediately instead of that Zelnaga, or ByuN doesn't get the second Reaper, or he does even like a worse build against the T-Rex Reaper because it is Frost. You don't expect T-Rex Reaper on it. But that's also kind of like, you don't expect the 12 pool on, Flip. I don't even know. What was that super old map? The one that was like purple and gross looking, and it was 4 players.
Kingdom?
No, it's four players. Alter Zeme. Like, you don't expect like an early pull on Alter Zeme,
Stronghold.
but that's like the one reason you do it is because they're gonna go for like a CC first or something like that. Whatever. All right, so second game here. First one was over real quick, like. And the top left, he's now up 1-0. It is the Red Terran ByuN.
And in the bottom right, we have the blue Terran player. Give it up for Ryung, who, if you remove the G from his name and add a line at the bottom of the R, it becomes ByuN.
That's a good point, man.
Maybe it's the same person.
It's basically the same person. That I'm sure of.
That's how he was able to get the first scout out in that last game. It all makes sense.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. Ryung actually has been doing quite well. He's had some surprising consistency and just surprising like breakout performances in the bigger leagues. ByuN, of course, still in at least one of the bigger leagues, and I keep on forgetting which one. I think he got knocked out of the SSL. But yes, because he's doing the GSL nominations. Yes, okay. Tomorrow, in fact, if you guys want to check it out. Anyway, but they're both actually, I feel like, pretty well matched in regards to TvT. ByuN, of course, a beast at TvZ and a beast in general, but considering Ryung's success, he's not the Ryung of like 2014 for sure. He's actually like, completely different than that Ryung, I would say. I really would not expect this to be like an easy 2-0 for ByuN, but with the first game going that way, I could see it being a 2-0. But this game should be much more difficult.
Yeah, interested to see where it's going to go. King Sejong Station, definitely one of the maps where promotes a lot of the early air aggression, with whether it be like a fast Widowmine drop, whether it be Liberators, whether it be Banshees. I think Banshees is definitely something I've seen quite a bit on this map, especially right behind the natural expansion.
Yeah, there's a lot of spaces to kind of abuse. There's, space back here you can kind of get around, so it's not a bad thing to go for at all. And a lot of people are very like Banshee, preferred, whatever you want to say. They love Banshees, and while Banshees are no longer the automatic go-to that they were at like different times in StarCraft 2, they're certainly still something you can go for. But we also see people going for like quick third CCs, defensive units coming out from this 1-1-1. Of course, we see a lot of Hellion attempts at winning games, which they're both actually doing yearly odd exact builds. So far, no differences. Same person.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
I know, exactly. This is becoming a bit eerie, but we do have a Widowmine starting up, and this is the big difference now in the build, Zombie Grub. A Widowmine being made for ByuN, a Hellion being made for Ryung. What could this mean? I think it actually probably means there's a Widowmine drop coming for ByuN.
ByuN, well, yeah, he has that option for him, and they're both building Medivacs. You could also, like, if he was paranoid, because, how much scouting have they both done? Okay, ByuN's done no scouting, Ryung has done no scouting. Okay, so if you're paranoid and you realize like, there's a possibility they're doing something also aggressive, because it is a TvT and there's generally some aggressive builds happening, you could leave the Widowmine at home, but...
That's true. I love the Terran players that leave the Widowmine like at a really weird location and just try and get a snipe off on like a Viking or something that's making its way across the map.
Yeah. And you can see, I guess, there ByuN like wanted maybe to do a Cyclone follow-up because he was thinking maybe I gotta go defensive, but switches up his mind, instantly cancels it, and then swaps his factory and starport and starts Banshee production. So that's gonna really delay his stim, But Ryung's doing something that delays his own sim too. He's got a Cyclone and a Viking on the way. It's defensive and it's good because ByuN is attacking him right now, and this might just work out better for Ryung. I mean, it's this odd scenario where they both have armies across the map.
Yeah, I feel like Ryung's gonna be able to get a lot of damage here with just a straight up army, whereas ByuN, I feel like this is like a harassment based force, like 4 or 5 Marines with a Widow Mine. I don't really know if it's gonna be able to do as much damage as like a good chunk of Marines with a bunch of Hellions in the mix.
Yeah, I definitely feel better for Ryung here. Cloak is gonna die, I think. Yeah, unless he repairs it. But the Marines look like they're gonna be taken out just enough so the Banshee can reign supreme. And you know what? Ryung didn't get into the mineral lines.
Yeah, and the thing is, ByuN was able to get a lot of damage done on the worker counts. I mean, we had a total of like 14 workers killed, and the Widowmine just actually landed on a couple of more SCVs in the main base, so he kills off even more. So now ByuN has a small little worker lead. And I want to say small because even though, yeah, 5 workers, that's a pretty big deal when you're talking about 25 workers. That's a fifth of your economy. I still do feel like they're in relatively low economies that are kind of equal-ish. Like, they're close.
7 workers can be made up with a variety of things. Like, a good drop from Ryung can bring that back to, like, something smaller or even a head. The Banshee could increase it further. I mean, that's why I feel like, yeah, 5 workers in TvT sometimes just isn't that important to notes, because it can go topsy-turvy very quickly. So that was a problem of ByuN's Cloak being stalled out. He did restart it, which I find kind of questionable, but he's still investing into Banshees. I guess, okay, better late than never, but as his Vikings catch the Banshees, that's where, like, okay, maybe I should just let them at home or not invest it further into them. That's something for Ryung. Something a little bit, you know, and that is ByuN's army supply going down without doing very much. So he is down about 8-10 army supply.
This is definitely going to be a bit of a problem over here. Ryung's second push-in also looks pretty strong, and the siege gets siege up in a nice spot. ByuN is not siege up at all.
I was gonna say, it was a little questionable Ryung trying to get closer in like that. The Cyclone does take out one of the medevacs, another one's already here. The Banshees took the long way around, so they're not going to be at home to help, but I think he can hold on long enough. Yeah, and there's no missile turrets. There are Vikings, but get in a good position. Ooh, Banshee goes back home.
Both players doing some nice damage to each other once again, but this Banshee is already paying for itself. 5 kills, may even be able to get a 6th over here, or at least soften up some of those SCVs. Ryung is still getting some damage done, but it looks like he should be cleaned up over here. Oh my god, those siege tank shots, though. Murdering the Marines that were trying to push in. Yeah,
that second tank really did a good shot on them. But that still, like, yeah, there wasn't enough to continue this harassment. There's plenty of scan energy. So the Vikings should be able to take this out. Actually, there's a Raven. I do think I like this, the Raven fine, but it just came out so late, you know? And now he can finally mule because he has a Raven, but he was holding on to a lot of mules. Unfortunately, can't check the income graph, but I'm going to guess it's been in favor of ByuN. 40 SCVs, he's been dropping mules. He's still making Banshees, which again is like, okay, I guess Cloak is finished now, so why not? But he definitely could have started, like, you know, faster, you know, barracks, or of course faster stim, which will be starting soon.
I guess that is sort of the one big fear that I feel like exists right now, is that Ryung will just try and go for some kind of push across the map and do some sort of counter damage. So I am interested to see ByuN, like, I guess finally just now adding on those additional barracks and everything, making sure that he gets up his production. Yeah. But I do like the idea of, like, just pushing across the map again and trying to be active on the map, because if he does that, it really does shut down Ryung's potential to go and do his own form of harassment. If he has to keep all of his units at home to defend, you can't really use any of your units for the offense.
Well, Viking does a good job initially taking care of this Banshee, which is going to go the other way around. And since Ryung, I mean, I'm surprised he's not taking his Vikings with his army, but he is always afraid of these Banshees, and that's like a good chunk of supply that's not helping Ryung's push. It happened with the last push, it's happening again with this one. I mean, this with air control is such a pain to deal with. But without it, and with ByuN getting his own Vikings anyway, it's
Oh.
not that bad. Just kill the medevac, force him to scan.
Like, as soon as the medevac's killed, then he's gonna be relying on scans to get damage done, and that's never a spot you really want to be in.
Yeah, still no missile turret. So like he has
Oh my
enough
God.
Vikings. He has a Raven, but they're never quite in position. So even 4 SCV kills is huge. ByuN's up 20 SCVs, a third base. Ryung has 1 more attack left in him while he still has a bigger army supply, but it's about to be against Stim, so he's got to go now. The tanks would siege up. I don't think he's pushing in at all, but they're not yet. Scans ahead. And I don't know what he can do now.
This is not going to go very well if he doesn't push in like this exact moment. As you were saying, Stim finishing up. We also have +1 weapons and +1 armor going to be finishing up pretty soon for ByuN. Things are just going to escalate out of control over here, and ByuN just needs to make sure that he siege up in a nice spot. Maybe a little bit worried about losing his third expansion, but he sieges up first, so he's going to get the first round of siege tank shots off.
Yeah. Just like that ByuN backed off with the rest of his tanks, and thankfully he had 6 tanks, he just lost 2. But these 4 are still going to provide a really hard point for Ryung to break through. ByuN has definitely won the air war, and now the Raven feels a little bit useless. I'm really surprised that Ryung went for his Banshees as late as he did. Like, he's never going to have Stim at this point, and he is still going to go for Bio. That's pretty damn late. But maybe the Banshee can kill a tank before ByuN has a scan or something like that. That's a lot of hoping, though.
Alright, well, at this point, 1-1 is finished up, Stim is finished up, and ByuN, I feel like as soon as he realizes the reinforcements are not really coming in massive waves, like, he could potentially just Stim up and take out these siege tanks, and I think that Ryung realizes that he's gonna back up. He has been able to recover a little bit in terms of that worker count, but is still sitting about 10 behind.
Yeah. Yeah, that worker's killed is surprisingly close for what has been a consistent 10-20 SCV lead, but look at this fleet.
Oh.
Look at all fleets. Like, the Vikings, you know, taking care of the tanks, and the tanks just almost free to do what they want. Again, without Stim on Ryung's Marines, they should never die. I'm surprised that 1 died, in fact. But the medevac should definitely never die.
Siege tanks having to retreat out, but Ryung definitely loses a couple of siege tanks in the process of that. I think 1 or 2 went down. Third one very, very low in health that I would love to see. Yeah, he is repairing up some of those siege tanks, but this nice little medevac harassment, as you were saying, like, there's no real good way to deal with this when he lost air superiority, and on top of that, he doesn't exactly have any ways to move his siege tanks around. Oh god, the Banshee gets scanned, killed off, GG gets called.
I like that that's what made him GG. Oh, the Banshee's gone, I'm dead. No, he knew he was in a very, very bad position for a long time and just eventually came to a point of just tapping out without a real fight. But ByuN is pretty good. I am surprised that Ryung looked, I don't want to use the word bad, but he did get pushed aside by ByuN pretty easily
Really
in
wrecked.
TvT. Yeah, maybe not his strongest suit, where ByuN's been getting, I think, a lot of TvT practice in the Olimoleagues. So he advances on, and ByuN will go to the semifinals already. Pili Pili vs. Alive is already finished. Alive 2-0'd Pili Pili and is waiting for Armani and the Korean name that I will not try and pronounce because I'll just mess it up. And then I guess we'll be waiting on, I think we're going to probably catch Keen versus the winner of Tails versus Tsunagi. And then we're going to have to wait for the semifinals.
Olivia's asking if we want to do natural versus solar. They have it. She has it held for the Korean casters.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we may hop into that.
Sure. I figured that already started. Great. Then we'll get into that if that's still available. So we'll see you guys in 2 minutes for a TVC.